just breathing in and out of the nose. So very nice, slow inhales in and slow exhales out. And doing your best to either let the inhalation and exhalation be equal, so choosing a number that works well for you. Or you can choose to draw the exhales out a little bit longer than the inhales, especially if your body just needs a little bit more help in that calming department. So throughout practice, we do our best to either keep the breath in that even pace or let the exhalation be a little bit longer, because the body can only be in one state, either sympathetic, which is that fight flight, or the parasympathetic, which is our rest and digest. And in our practice, that is what we are trying to do, practice being in rest and digest. And we might come out of it, but we just use tools like the breath and our practice to bring us back, knowing that we do have a choice. So just riding the wave of your breath here. And then from this gentle place, begin to perhaps just form an intention for your practice today. Keep it as general as you need to keep it. Appreciation, calm, peace, whatever you need today. And then bring that intention into your heart and bring palms together. Let thumbs rest right at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take a big inhale, holding breath in. And a big exhale, letting go. Nice. And then when you're ready, just ease the palms down. We'll do a little bit seated here. So you can switch out cross of ankles if needed, but let's just kind of circle the torso around. And as you circle, play around with closing your eyes as we try to play around with balance a little bit today. Whenever the eyes close, it is a little bit more difficult to balance and to find that stillness. So we'll play with that as well today if you want to. Everything we do is optional here. Good. And then reverse, move your circle in the other direction. And focus your energy or attention to the center, the core of your body. As you're in this swirling movement, just feel that kind of internal movement, the internal swirling. And as you go here, start to let your circles be smaller and smaller. Smaller movements as you go, continuing to maintain the breath, and then a little bit smaller and smaller. So that eventually it is just the rib cage kind of circling over the hips. You just feel a little bit of movement in the core, and the circles get smaller and smaller. The eyes are closed. And then the movement is just so small that you stop. And as you stop, your eyes are closed, but feel how that swirling is still kind of going on here. Good. And then take a big inhale and big exhale. Nice. Let's move to the mat if you're not there already, to hands and knees. If you need to pad your knees up with a blanket or something soft, go ahead and do that. And we'll just move the spine around a bit more here this morning. So any way you want to move here, you can choose to just go right into cat-cow, or if you want to circle your hips around, you can do that. Just get the spine, again, moving. Breathe into it. In and out of your nose. Good. And again, as you're here in this movement, whichever movement you've chosen, notice something true about it. So maybe you go down to just feeling the palms resting into the earth. Maybe you notice the texture below your knees, temperature of air outside of your nose. We use our practice to come back to what is real, what is actually happening. As soon as we step off the mat, we are pulled in so many different directions. To notice this and notice that. So really just let yourself be with what is real, your breath, this gentle warm-up movement, and start to wind down whatever movement that you have decided to take. So if you've circled one way, go ahead, even it out a little bit, go the other way. If you're in those cat-cows, just enjoy it. Enjoy it wherever you are. And then let's find a nice neutral table here, hands and knees. So we'll go right into a little bit of balance here with hands and knees. Reach and stretch your right leg back behind you, flex through the hip. Keep your right hip point facing down. Feel how your core is already activating here as you press firmly through the right heel. Keep your eyes gazing down at the floor, the neck nice and long. Good. This is balance. This is core activation. If you want a little bit more, you're going to reach the left arm forward, bicep facing ear, thumb facing the ceiling. And you can kind of play around with like letting the right hip come open a little bit and then using your core to hug all that in. You feel all the activation there. And really how balance is all about activating the core, the very center of your body. So keep the neck long. Keep your breath solid. One more big inhale. Exhale, left hand down, right knee down. Take a little movement in between sides. So you can cat-cow, or if you want to play around with circling hips, you can do that. Just let everything really integrate into the body now. Good. And then when you're ready, let's come back to a nice neutral table. This time you're going to reach and stretch the left leg back behind you, flex through the left foot. And then again, feel how this is core activation, right? Everything hugging into the center of the body. Press back through the left heel. Eyes gently gazing down at the floor. And then if you would like to, you can reach and stretch the right arm out, bicep facing ear, thumb facing ceiling, eyes looking gently at the floor. And just breathing. Easy breath here. In and out of the nose. Good. Little micro adjustments. You can even open the left hip for a second and then whoosh, pull it back in, making sound effects if that helps you. Good. And then right hand down, left knee down. And then again, some movement here, cat-cow or hip circles, whatever feels best to you today. Just honoring that. Good. And then when you're ready from here, let's go ahead and either stay in your table pose or make your way up into a downward facing dog. So yeah, you'll just kind of curl those toes under, lift the hips up. You're really trying to stretch the belly back towards the thighs. Now check in with your hands. Make sure your palms are spreading nice and wide, even if you're just still down in table. And if you're in table, you can move around a little bit still. You can circle your hips. If you're up in the down dog, really spread those palms wide, especially the first 3 fingers. The pointer finger, the base of your pointer finger is glued down to the floor. Take some nice deep breaths here, in and out of the nose. Good. And then we're going to do this either from table or down dog. You're going to reach and stretch the right leg back behind you. This time, keep the right hip point facing down. You can do this also from table. So pressing back through left heel. Good. So table, we kind of already just did this, right? Down dog, we're just adding on a step. Don't worry, we're not going to lift the left arm here. And so from this 3-legged dog or table with the right leg lifted, step your right foot through between your hands. Good. And now if your left knee is off the floor, curl the left toe under, lift left knee off the floor. So you're here in this lunge. Feet are going to be hip width apart. And then you're going to bring your hands up onto your hips. Good. So this also is balance. Feel how you're hugging everything into the center, the core. And then if you would like to, you can reach and stretch those arms up. This is Crescent Warrior. So you want to be light in the feet. If you need to lower the left knee down, go for it here. But try to just be light in those feet. Make sure your right toes don't grip the floor. Strongly press back through your left heel. Nice deep breaths. And notice how if your feet are not hip width distance apart, it really makes the balance challenging within the shape. Take one more inhale to reach up. And now exhale, let's bring those hands down to frame the right foot. And then you're gonna step your left foot up to meet the right foot. And then find your forward fold here. Let your neck hang and just soften. So in this shape, notice left versus right. So noticing the difference between left leg, right leg, the hips, and try not to grip the floor with those toes. Good. And then when you're ready, take a big inhale, lengthen your torso. And then exhale, fold. Let's do two more. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. One more, inhale, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Go ahead, press into your feet and let's inhale to stand. Sweep the arms up, look straight up, and then exhale, thumbs to your heart. Close your eyes here, thumbs heart center. With your eyes closed, again, focus right there on your core. Focus on how even standing here, you have to find this little subtle balance, right? The eyes are closed. There's maybe a little bit of movement still happening. Good. And then eyes open, bring your hands on your hips for balance. Let's press into the right foot and then lift your left foot. So just come all the way up to stand on this one foot. Keep your left foot lifted. Try to close your eyes. Ooh, what happens? Right? It's just for fun. So you can just try it for like 1 second. And then if you don't like it, reopen your eyes. It's fine. Notice how the right toes kind of want to grip here. Hug that belly in. Nice core engagement. Okay, enough of this. So step that left foot back, get your left heel all the way down. And we're going to move into a warrior one. So your left heel goes all the way down, right knee bends. And then if you want to inhale, reach those arms up, go for it. Good. So again, breathing, coming all the way to the center of your body. In and out of your nose. You can bring your hands on your hips at any time if this becomes too much, but get that left heel all the way down. Good. One more inhale, reach up, and now exhale, hands to hips. Let's straighten out that right leg. So pull the right hip back, somewhat in line with your left hip. Make sure the right leg is straight but not locked out. You can bend the knee a little bit. Take a big inhale, torso lengthens, and then you're going to exhale, start to fold over the right leg. Bring those hands down to frame the right foot. This is pyramid pose. So if you need to readjust once you get down there, step the left foot in a little bit more, go for it. If you need to grab blankets or pillows or something at home to go up underneath your hands to lift the earth up, then do that. Keep your neck long. Breath flowing in and out of the nose. Good. Just a couple more breaths here. Kind of try to enjoy the stretch as much as you can. Good. Nice. And then start to look at your right foot, bend into the right knee, walk the hands forward, and then step your left foot up to meet your right. Back to your forward fold. You can sway if you want to sway. Now in a forward fold, if it is bothering your low back, you're going to take your feet wider and bend your knees. Good. Let's take a big inhale, lengthen the torso. And then exhale to fold. Good. Plant your palms, bend your knees, walk back into a plank pose, or you can lower your knees right down there for a knee down plank. Just kind of engage your core. And then let's lower to the belly, nice and slowly. Thumbs go right there in line with the chest, tops of feet down to the earth. Inhale, cobra. You do not have to go up this high. Exhale, touch your forehead down. Two more. Inhale. And exhale. And last one, inhale. This time, let's exhale back to a child's pose. First child's pose today, unless you did one before class. I ain't mad at you if you did. But just find your first child's pose. And again, we notice what's actually happening. So maybe really noticing the forehead touching the mat, temperature of air outside of the nose. And find one little thing, this is my new practice, to just appreciate about right now. The ability to take a nice deep breath, the support of the earth below you. Good, something very general, keeps you out of story, just one little thing. Good. And then when you're ready, you're gonna either come to that table pose or your downward facing dog. So we're gonna do what we just did on the very first side. So either one is perfectly fine. So from either your table or your down dog, you're gonna reach and stretch the left leg back behind you, flex through that left foot, and then table, you can do the same thing. Nice deep breaths here. Good, and now step that left foot through between your hands. If you are in the table, go ahead, curl the right toe under, lift right knee off the floor. Feet are hip width apart for optimal balance. Inhale all the way up, moving into your Crescent Warrior. So Crescent Warrior, the back heel is off the floor. You can stay here with hands on hips, or you can reach and stretch arms up. Take some nice deep breaths here. In and out of your nose, just allowing your body to relax, to really, even though this is a powerful pose, right? Powerful stance, we can still find that ability to move into rest and digest here. Slowing the breath down, lengthening out those exhales, softening the eyes. One more inhale. And we're gonna exhale, bring those hands down now to frame the left foot, and then step that right foot forward and fold. So again, go right to your forward fold, let the back of your neck be nice and long. Breathe deeply. Notice left versus right. Good. And just be where you are. Awesome. When you're ready, let's take a big inhale, lengthen your torso. Exhale, fold. Good. This is just a nice way to engage the core. Inhale, lengthen. Create breath awareness. Exhale, fold, multi-purpose. Last one, inhale. Exhale, fold. Awesome. When you're ready, press into your feet. Inhale, stand, reaching up, looking up. And then exhale, thumbs to your heart once more. Close your eyes. You can kind of shift between left foot, right foot. Try to find that center place. Breathe, feel the belly. Good. And then when you're ready from here, let's open eyes, bring hands back to hips. That fun little balance thing. So press into your left foot, and then let's lift up the right foot. So again, you can play around here with closing your eyes. Whew, feel the wobble, right? The wobble gives us that contrast. It's a good thing. Good. One more breath here. And now we're gonna step that right foot back, get the right heel down. So warrior one, bend into the left knee, different than Crescent Warrior because that back heel is down. And then when you're ready, you can inhale, reach the arms up. Take some nice deep breaths here, in and out of the nose. Keep pressing down through that right heel, bending into left knee, softening shoulders. Make sure the floor is not being gripped by those left toes. Take one more inhale, reach up. And now let's bring hands to hips, and we're gonna straighten out the left leg. Good, so pull those hips kind of somewhat back in line, and then slowly fold over the left leg. If you need to step the right foot in a little bit once you get down there, go for it. With this one, you want some distance between the feet. So you don't want the heels to intersect or crisscross. Make sure left leg is straight but not locked out. Make sure left toes are not gripping the floor. Okay, a couple deep breaths here. Good. One more inhale. One more exhale, fold a little bit more. Good. Press into that left foot, and then let's step our right foot up to meet it. Fold, relax, and breathe. Good. Notice left versus right. And let's take a big inhale, lengthen torso. And then exhale, fold. Plant palms, bend knees, walk your way back to either that plank or just drop those knees down, go right to your knee down plank. Either one is perfect. Keep your neck long, just a little core engagement, and then lower to your belly, nice and slowly. Thumbs right there in line with the chest, tops of feet to floor. Inhale, cobra. Good, and then exhale, lower back down. Let's come into Sphinx Pose. So bring your elbows down to the floor, right there underneath your shoulders. And then if you want to measure distance between your elbows, you can take your fingertips and see if the fingertips come to the outside edges of those elbows. So this next little thing we're going to do here is just stretching the front of the leg, the psoas. So you can do this from Sphinx. It's a good place to start. Or if you want to lower down, stack your palms, let your forehead rest there, you can do that. So once we get into it, you'll kind of know what to do here. So let's bring the left forearm in front of the body, and then we're going to bend our right knee. Try to grab the top of that right foot. Ooh, haven't done this one in a while. So once you get in here, you might decide to lower down onto the left palm, but you're going to pull that right heel towards the outside edge of that right sitting bone. Take some nice deep breaths here. Keep both hip bones on the floor. Good. Again, lower down onto the left palm with your forehead if you're feeling too much in your low back. Good. Nice deep breaths. Wow, I have not done this one in a while. A little uncomfortable, but not in a bad way, right? It's uncomfortable in a bad way if you have back pain or knee pain. Those are the two no-nos. This is just like the front of the right thigh is alive. Take one more breath here, and then release the right leg. Let's everybody lower down and bring your palms to stack, forehead there. Take some nice deep breaths. Good. In and out of the nose. Awesome. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and come back up onto your forearms. We're going to do the other side. So this time the right forearm comes in front of you. You're going to bend the left knee, and then you're going to grab the top of that left foot. Good. So if you need to lower down onto the right palm, do that. Take some nice deep breath. So I don't know about you guys, but I made this deal with myself during this unprecedented kind of a stressful time we're all having, like globally, you know, no big deal. I haven't really been doing any advanced asana, any advanced yoga poses, because I just have tried to keep my nervous system at this parasympathetic state, right? So giving yourself permission to not always do the hardest thing, or especially when you're already experiencing stress, sometimes can be a great act of self-love and care. I say that as I'm like, oh my gosh, I've let my quads get so tight. It's all good, right? Take one more breath here, and then release your left leg. Let's stack those palms down and just take a couple breaths here, in and out of the nose. Feel the release. Good. And then let's stretch the back, go back into second child's pose of the day. So really nice back stretch after that compression, forehead resting. And deep breaths. You can always let out a releasing breath at any time you need to, just to give your body the sensation of release through the exhale. So powerful. Good. Nice. Let's go ahead and come all the way back to your table pose. And then all the way up and back into your down dog. Or if you're just hanging in table, just hang in table, all good. Take a few breaths wherever you are. If you're in table, you can always move through some cat-cow. Down dog, just try to deepen into it without locking out elbows, making sure the base of your pointer finger is touching down. Good. When you're ready from here, we're gonna, from either table or down dog, reach and stretch that right leg back behind you, bend the knee, open up the hips. So big open stretch here. Good. And then you're gonna step the right foot through between your hands. Awesome. And then you're gonna inhale up into your Crescent Warrior again. So here we are in Crescent Warrior, nice and warmed up this time. Full deep breaths in and out of the nose. Good. Awesome. Keep your arms up for balance, just for fun. Okay, you're gonna press into that right foot, and then you can always bring your hands to hips for this next thing here. Press into your right foot, step that left foot up, try to come up onto one leg. You guys can thank Linda for the balance here. It's just for fun. One more breath here. Good. Hands, heart, center. Step the left foot down. Close your eyes and just really experience the contrast here. Feel your heart beating. Anytime our arms are up over the head, it's going to speed up the heart rate, right? Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to press into those feet. Inhale, reach up and look up. And then exhale, fold nice and slowly. Okay. Inhale, lengthen the torso. And then exhale to fold. Good. Plant your palms, bend your knees, and you're going to step your right foot back into a lunge here. Okay. And then you're going to lower the right knee down. Okay. Then you're going to turn your right shin bone. So we're all facing this way. A little different flow today. And then you're going to inhale, reach those arms out. And then exhale, bring that right hand down. And then turn into a modified side plank here. So that left leg is extended, palm to the floor. Now we're going to play around with a little more balance if you want to, and kind of use what we've already done. So reach and stretch the left arm up if you want to. This is perfect right here, or you can float the left leg up, okay? If you want to, you can start to bend the left knee, grab the top of the foot. Good. So that we did the little warm up for this on the floor. But even if you did the warm up, it doesn't mean you have to do this part. It's just for fun. Good. Take one more breath here. If you have the foot, try to gently release it. Boop, come back here. Awesome. Come all the way back to left foot on the floor, arms reaching up. Good. And then exhale, bring those hands to the floor. Good. Take your left hand to the floor, reach and stretch that right arm up. Good. And then let's bring the right shoulder down. We'll come into a twist. Okay. If you want to play with your balance here, you can wrap the left palm onto that hip and really focus on opening the left shoulder up towards the sky. Good. Nice deep breaths. Nice. Let's bring the left hand down, press it into the earth. Bring your right hand down, and then we're just going to take the knees back and we're going to cat-cow a little bit here. Just even all that out. And then we're going to do a very non-graceful, non-yogic transition to coming back to the front side of your mat and moving back to either table or downward facing dog. Good. So either table or downward facing dog for this next thing here. And then we're going to reach the left leg back behind you, bend the knee, open the hip. Again, table or down dog, totally fine. We're just getting the left hip open. Nice deep breaths. Good. And then let's step that left foot through. If you're in the table pose, lift your right knee up. Make sure your feet are hip width. And then you're going to inhale up now into that Crescent Warrior. Good. Slow, deep breath. So feel the power there between your legs. You can keep your arms up. You guys know what's coming next or not. Okay. Press into the left foot and then lift the right foot up. Come all the way up to stand. 3 breaths here. And maintain those long exhales. Awesome. And then step that right foot down, hands, heart, center. Nice deep breath. In and out of the nose. Good. Feel the contrast again when you are in the balance place and now more in this mountain pose. Good. When you're ready, open eyes, press into feet, inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, fold slowly over those legs. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold this time. Pressing into right foot, you'll step your left foot back to a lunge. And then you're going to lower your left knee. So now I have to come back to face you guys the other way. So I'm going to do a very non-yogic weird transition so that I'm turned to this side. So do what you need to do to face the camera. Right foot is going to be on the floor. Okay. And then the left knee will be underneath you, supporting you. Inhale, arms reach out. And then exhale, left hand down. So we're going to move into that side plank variation here. Okay, this is great. Working on balance, core engagement, or if you want to reach and stretch the right arm up, you can. You can also float that right leg up. Okay, and then last little thing, if you want to play, you grab the top of the foot and open. Good, just play around with it. You never know. Sometimes we look at something and talk ourselves out of it before we even try. What's the worst thing that could happen, right? Take a couple more breaths. One more breath here. If you have your foot, release it. Inhale. Set that foot down. Inhale, come all the way up. Awesome. Good. And then you're going to exhale slowly. Bring those hands down. Okay, this time, right palm's going to go underneath your nose to plant. You're going to take a big stretch up with the left arm and then bring that left shoulder down to the floor, thread the needle. Believe it or not, this is a balancing pose. If you want to play more, you can wrap that right arm around onto your hip. It's not really a balancing pose until I say it is. I think I've mentioned this. If I teach this in class and I don't say anything about being challenged to balance, nobody falls. But if I say something, people start going like dominoes. So a lot of it is our perception. Take some nice deep breaths here. Good. And then slowly, let's bring that hand back to the floor, right hand to support us. Counter stretch with the left arm. Bring the left hand down and bring the right knee down. Let's cat-cow a little bit, integrating what we just did. Awesome. And then someone can name this transition. I'm not sure what we want to call it. Bear crawl. Back to front side of mat. Good. And then a little bit of cat cow here. And then one more time back into a downward facing dog, or if you're in table, you can move through some hip circles. Just breathing deeply here, in and out of the nose. Good. Okay, so this next thing we're gonna do pigeon pose, but if you have anything going on in your knees, I'm gonna say you wanna flip over on your back and do a figure four. So I'm gonna lead you guys into pigeon. Those of you that wanna stay there, stay there. And those of you that are like, this hurts my knee, I'm gonna show you an alternative. So go ahead, reach and stretch your right leg back behind you, bend the knee, open the hip, and then you're gonna bring that right shin bone in front of your body. The knee will go outside of the hip, okay? So get the left knee down, center of the left thigh to the earth. So you can lengthen up here, play around with your balance. Okay, so those of you guys who want to do this pose, you can come down on those forearms. We're going to be here for about a minute. Those of you who, if your right knee is bothering you here, you're just going to simply come onto your back and bring that right outer ankle to the left knee. Okay, so those of you, again, we're on the clock for a minute, so protect your knees. I've gone through years where I've had to do this version on my back. And it usually is something originating in the hip, by the way. Thanks to my chiropractor, I now know that. So whichever version of pigeon that you're in, if you're here on the floor, you can also pull that left thigh in, reach the left leg up, or you can make this as restorative as you need to, okay? Nice deep breaths in and out of the nose. And those of you, again, who are just in the folded pigeon with your forearms down, make sure that your jaw and your face is not tightening up, your shoulders are not tightening up. Those waves of tension from the hips have this tendency to go up through the body and get caught there in the shoulders and hands and face. Nice. Okay, so if you're in the folded version of pigeon, you're going to start to bring those hands back to the floor. I'll come to join you guys. Curl that left toe under, come back to down dog. If you're on the floor in reclined pigeon, just hang out in reclined pigeon and take both feet down to the floor. So you're going to stay on your back and you're going to bring both feet down. If you decided to take the knee protective version, because we're just going to go right to the other side. So down dog people, left leg reaches up back behind you, bend the knee, open the hip, and then the left knee comes down in front of you. The center of the right thigh is to the floor, the right knee is on the floor, and then again you're going to fold, come down onto those forearms. Now maybe one side felt awesome and maybe one side doesn't feel awesome. The knees and the hips are different side to side. So if you need to take that modification, you're going to come down and bring that left outer ankle to the right knee. Okay, again, we're going to stay in this shape for just about a minute. So play around within it. Do what works best for you. And as I mentioned on the first side, there have been definitely multiple years as I've done yoga for 12 years or so now consistently, that I have not been able to do regular pigeon, and I've done this version and nothing bad happened. Anytime I can allow myself the grace of taking a modification when I need it, my body is just very grateful. Good. Keep your breath as even as you can, whichever version of this that you are in. Check in with your jaw, your face, all those places where that tension just wants to hang out, hide out. Good. Nice. When you're ready, if you're in the reclined pigeon, you're just going to bring those feet down, knees rest in towards one another. The rest of you guys that are in regular pigeon, you'll curl your right toe under, go back into your down dog, okay? And then you're going to come down to your knees and then join my friends who are already resting on the back. Let's all come down to the back. Once we come down to the back, we're going to do one little back bend, just give the spine a little bit more love. So one bridge pose, feet are hip width, knees are hip width. Once you lift your hips, don't turn your head. Press your feet down, lift those hips up. Any little version that you want to do with this, you can walk the shoulders underneath you, give yourself a chest opener. You can take your elbows down to the floor. Again, just kind of find what works best for you, for your body today. Close your eyes wherever you are. Just feel the backs of the legs, your hamstrings. See if you can move that energy to the tops of your hips and then release the clenching back behind your legs. Take a couple more breaths. Nice. Slowly lower your hips down. Bring the soles of feet together, knees open, Supta Baddha Konasana, eyes closed, breath is flowing. So just let the breath flow. It will be in contrast to that back bend. Good. And then let's bring the knees together. Give your knees a nice big hug into your chest. You can circle the knees around. You can be totally still here. Whatever works best for you. Just kind of honor that here. Good. And then let's leave the right knee hugging in and then extend the left heel out to the floor. Now, if that bothers your low back, then you can bend that left knee and take the left foot to the floor. I promise you're not going to miss out on anything. Okay, so just do what works best. Take a few rotations with this right hip. So just really circle that hip around. Give it lots of love. We create this fluid through movement called synovial fluid. It nourishes the joints, keeps us flexible, able to move, nice and healthy for the body. Go ahead, reverse circle the other way. Try to enjoy it as best as you can. Good. Come back to center. Bring your left hand to the right knee. Bring your right hand out to the floor, and then let's twist over to the left. You can roll over onto the left hip if you want. You can play around with the right hand. You can keep it right where it is, or you can slide the thumb up more towards 12 o'clock. You're going to get a big stretch in the pectoral muscle, front part of the chest. And that could be awesome. It could be not awesome. So just don't overdo it, right? Sometimes we think, oh, this is a big stretch. I should just do more of this. And sometimes that's not always the best idea. Notice any gripping happening in the body. Let your exhales lengthen out even more. Good. Good. Let's come all the way back onto the back. It's going to feel super asymmetrical. Just kind of let it be. Bring both heels down, toes flop open. Notice difference, contrast in breath, feeling the asymmetry from one side of the body to the other. Good. Let's go ahead and bring both knees in for a second just to even everything out before we slip right into the other side. Again, you can circle the knees or you can be totally still. Good. Let's keep the left leg hugging in, right heel out. And again, if that bothers your low back, you're just going to bring the right foot down. But we're going to start off with circling left knee around, getting all that amazing nourishing fluid down into the hip. Check in with your breath. Favor towards the exhale. And that's a good thing to remember off the mat also, though. Just favor the exhale and then go ahead, reverse move the knee to circle in the opposite direction. Your circle doesn't have to look anything like mine. It can be much smaller or even much bigger if you prefer it. Good. Come back to center. Bring your hand to the knee. This time, right hand to left knee, left arm out, and then roll over onto the side. You can look away from the knees. Take a few deep breaths here. And again, if you want to play around with opening up the front of the chest, then you'll drag that left thumb up towards 12 o'clock. Breathe into it. Again, favoring the exhale. Awesome. Good. When you're ready, slowly coming onto your back. Again, asymmetry, just embrace it, feel it, both feet down, heels drop down, toes flop open. Lots of difference between one side of the body, difference in the breath. Good. And then when you're ready, bring your feet down. Let's give those knees a nice big hug in one more time before we move into guided relaxation. Any movements you want to do here, go for it. Whatever you need to feel symmetrical, complete. Good. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and come all the way down to Shavasana. Just choose whichever position you want to take, whatever comes naturally. If you want to lay on a bed or chair, couch, anything, go for it. And for the next minute or so here, we're going to play around with a little breath retention. So if you want to just skip it and just breathe naturally, normally, go for it. We're going to take an inhale in, and then we're going to hold the breath out for a count of 10. So just to try it out, you're going to take a big inhale, and then exhale the breath out. Hold it out. I'm counting. When you're ready, take it in, and then out. Take it in. And now hold it out. I'll count. Two more. Inhale. Exhale slowly as you can. Last one. Inhale. Long, slow exhale. I will count out for you guys. Go ahead, exhale. Good. And then just resume normal breathing in and out of your nose. Good. Allow the breath to just flow. There'll be a moment or two where, or even a minute where it just feels a little different, a little strange. And then you just kind of remember that ability to play around within the exhale, within that energy. And what that does is it just slows your heartbeat down, sends your body into that repair, restore mode. And we'll just scan the body, starting at the top of the head, really letting your forehead broaden, the eyes resting back into the head. Feeling the sensation of breath in and out of the nose, that flow of air, the temperature. Letting the cheekbones soften back into the very back of the head. And then as you do that, feeling the back of the head just cradled by the earth. Back of the neck cradled by the earth. Moving back to the jaw, letting your teeth separate and the tongue be nice and relaxed in the mouth. Letting that neck lengthen onto the earth. Feeling the breath flow across the throat nice and gently. Moving to the collarbone and just experiencing that beautiful airflow there at the collarbone as it lifts and lowers gently. Feeling the shoulders lift and lower. Feeling the chest rising and falling. And those long, slow exhales just give the body permission to rest, to let go, to move into a state of healing, of restoration, of peacefulness. Feeling everything just moving naturally, the chest, the heart, the belly. Coming into the palms, receiving that healing energy, receiving that energy of restoration as it moves into the forearms, the elbows, upper arm bones. Feeling your upper back melting there onto the earth, the middle back cradled and loved, held, the lower back. Moving into the pelvis, letting go of any holding happening there. The upper thigh bones dropping down. The fronts of the knees, feeling that warmth encircling, encasing. Backs of the knees resting down. The shin bones, calf muscles, everything just nice and heavy. Heels dropping down, the toes flopping open. This beautiful restorative place, letting your whole body just rest, moving into healing mode. Your entire body held warmly. Permission to heal, permission to restore, to relax. You are perfectly safe and held in this place. As you breathe and just rest here, feeling balance returning to your nervous system, to your body. Feel connected to source, that energy to which you were always connected to. It is just that we forget. We forget often. And our practice serves as a reminder of that connection, of that warmth, of that support by nature. It is always there. And breathing that all in, soaking that all in here in this moment, taking a big inhale, holding in, and a big exhale, sending it out. And starting to find some small movements here, wiggling fingers, toes, taking a big stretch up through arms and legs. Eventually bending knees, hugging knees in. Moving on to your very favorite side. Pausing there on your side. And then from your side, slowly coming up to a nice comfortable seat. Very similar to the one in which you began. Eyes resting closed, coming back. Bringing palms together, thumbs resting it right at heart center, sealing in your intention, that one word you chose. Sealing in this feeling of balance, of restoration, of healing, again, so that it is there later when you need it, taking a big inhale and exhale. Jai Bhagwan, namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming and practicing today. It was lovely to have all of you here.